Good morning, Pete here from A Bit Twisted. So today, just going to be a quick little video. I have a whole pile of shredded flax next to me, and right now is about the time when everybody is harvesting and retting their flax. They're asking about when is my flax ready from the retting tank. And so my experience here, I've been doing this for about 8 years. 3 days tends to not be enough days to pull it out. It might seem that way, that it might be ready, but typically, from my experience, it's not. Usually around 5 to 10 days is what I've been doing here. And it gets hot here. And so I have to make sure that everything that I do is in a place that's not going to get too hot, because you don't want the water itself to get too hot, because that'll stop the process, because it'll just kill everything. So what you want to do is, after about 3 days, you want to go out and pull a few stalks out of the middle of your bundle, your bundles that you're retting. And so out here where we do this, we use 100-gallon basically watering troughs that we get from Tractor Supply. And I used a galvanized one at first, but they will rust out after a few years, so don't use them, because that will also change the color of your flax if you use a rusty tank. Use the poly tanks, and they'll last a long time. Keep them out of the sun. Keep them protected, but they will last, and they'll get you a nice straw color like this when you're done. And so anyway, you pull out your stuff, and one of the things that you want to see is you want to be able to just kind of pull, and just where that outer bark is just pulling off, and you'll be able to see it. Just a light pinch and pull, and if that outer bark's starting to fall off, in that way, not breaking it or twisting it or anything, just pull. You'll see that it's ready to start pulling out, setting it out in the sun in a hot place so it will dry. And you want it to be wait for the traffic here. Wow, lots of traffic this morning. You want it to be fully dry. You don't want it to be damp. If it's damp, you're not gonna be able to tell if it's good, if it's ready. So in this, so I'm gonna bring the camera over a little bit closer so you can see. So some of the flax that you have is gonna have skinny stalks. Some of it's going to have thicker. And you want it dry, and you want to take a couple, bend it between your fingers, just back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So with just a little bit of knocking around, you're going to have separated fibers. And this is just a rough estimate. So you got this piece here and that just falls away. So you want them to just, that inner core to fall away. The outer core, the outer part is what you want. But on the outer part, there's also a very, very thin layer that you can't see that can stick and cause the shive to stick to it, but they'll just fall off. If it's ready, it'll just come apart, easily fall off, and leave you with just a nice clean set of fibers. You can hear it, it's crispy and all of that stuff. So right now this morning it's a little humid out here, so it's not quite as crispy sounding. Just test it all the way up. If your flax looks like this, it's ready to pull out of the tank. Pull it out, rinse it off with some fresh water, lay it out thin and let it dry. So what you don't want, and I can kind of simulate it here with one of these, is if you're breaking it, and you're getting ribbons like this and not separated fibers, ribbons like this, it's not ready. Even though it may pull away from the inner core, if it's in a ribbon state and it's not breaking out of that ribbon state and it's just a lot of ribbon, it's not quite ready. You want it the fibers. You want that fiber state, not ribbons. So ribbons is not ready. Fibers like this are ready. So this is flax that was grown, and it got hot out here, so this flax feels coarse. But I've also not hackled it yet or scutched it, so that will also help make it feel softer and feel better and easier to spin. Stiff, coarse fiber is still good. You don't need to throw it away if it's ready for spinning, because you can still make some really nice fabric with it. It's not going to be a problem. And the other, I'm going to show you here. Is some old flax that's been sitting out here. It's been sitting out here for too long, and it's dry. It looks like I might get something off of it, but I break it and it just breaks apart. Just literally just falls apart. If your flax is dry out of your tank and it just falls apart like this, it's over-retted. It's too much. There's no usable fiber in this. I wouldn't even use this for paper. This is just gonna fall apart, just turn to mush. You might get some kind of paper out of it, but probably not much. And then you've got all that core, which doesn't lend for paper. So and also, the thicker your stalk, the coarser your fibers are going to be. So just break them. Like that. You know, Got a couple little pieces that stick, usually not too much of an issue, but if a lot is sticking, it's not ready to go. But you want it dry. You don't want it damp when you do this test. Hear that crispy? That's what you want. And then you just want to see all this stuff fall away. So you can see all this stuff. And it's the inner core. So this stuff is kind of coarse, this thick stuff. Some of my thinner stuff. So the thinner the stalks, the finer the fiber. You can kind of see the difference. Probably even in the video. Coarse versus fine. So in order to get small skinny stalks, you also want to plant your flax really close. Don't want to plant your flax far apart. If you're just going to grow flax for coarse fiber and seed, then you want to grow it far apart. That way it grows more branches where you're going to get more flowers and more seed. But if you're growing it for good fine fiber, plant it dense and let it grow so you got some really fine, much finer fibers. And then once you're done working it and scutching it and hackling it, it's going to be nice and soft. But the hotter the area that you live in, if it gets really super hot before you harvest it, it can start feeling coarser, like this fiber here. But this fiber is still going to get used. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's still good fiber. So that's basically what you need to do. And check it every day. Here's a couple more really thin ones. And if any of you have spun with Berta's flax, the really old antique stuff, when you get stalks that are really thin, you're going to get some of this really super fine. And after scutching and hackling, it's going to be just as fine as that. And it may feel also a little waxy. Now that is one thing that age may do something to, but typically it's not as a waxiness. But I think some of the issue here is just the variety of flax that we have. This variety right here that's in my hand is Suzanne, and I did have Natalie Suzanne, and I grew my own after I harvested seed, and it was a blend of Natalie and Suzanne. And I also grew out some Lenore last year and was very disappointed with the Lenore. I would not recommend it for anybody unless you're growing it for seed to eat. And then you can. It grows really short. It doesn't grow good out here. Maybe in some other areas it might grow okay, but I don't recommend it. So nice fine fiber. So there you go. And you twist it up if you want to make cord with it, and it's just super strong stuff, and fine. So thick stalks, hot weather, make thicker, coarser fiber. Dense and skinny stalks produce finer fiber. They can feel coarse if it gets really hot. So it's just it's a balance game. So got to figure it out. And we'll talk to y'all later.